Good morning, everybody. You are all here because you are a non-public school and you're participating in the Boost Scholarship Program, and you're here to get more information about how to complete the reporting requirements. I am recording this meeting, and the recording will be posted on the Boost webpage in a day or two. I'll be sharing my screen, and if at any point you can't see what I'm sharing, please alert me so I'm not talking and my screen doesn't match what I'm talking about. I've had that issue in the past. My name is Nicole Obregon. I'm the Special Fiscal Programs Administrator at MSDE. I oversee several programs, and the Boost Scholarship Program is one of them. Robert Wankowitz is also on the line. He is the full-time Boost Scholarship Program Manager. So if you call the Boost phone number, you reach him. There's three of us that manage the Boost inbox. So it's me, Bob, and I don't think Jim Clark is on the line, but he also works for the Boost Scholarship Program. So I'm going to share my screen. Okay, great. So we're here to go over quickly the reporting requirements that are that schools are required to submit to us to participate. Well, here's the agenda for today. I'll provide some updates. I'll review the timeline of events, and then we'll get into what the reporting requirements look like, and we'll save time at the end for questions. Just a reminder that we have a Boost program webpage. We keep it updated with information. This is what it looks like. There's a timeline of events here. There's information for non-public schools here. And then at the bottom, there's also information for parents. So if parents have questions about what school they can use their scholarship at, there's a question here for them. How much the scholarship award will be. We've updated this information to reflect what the Boost Advisory Board decided. And then here, will I get a check for the entire award? Some information for parents as well. And we held sessions for parents earlier in the season as well. So that's our Boost Scholarship webpage. The recording that's happening right now is going to be on the webpage for you if you want to go back and look at this meeting and listen to it. There's frequently asked questions for parents, frequently asked questions for schools. So there's lots of information here for schools and parents, including a link to the online application if you don't have it bookmarked. Here are some updates. So we keep our webpage updated with information. So check there and refer parents there as well. The Boost Advisory Board determines the award amounts and how the funding is spent to align with legislation. That meeting, they did convene this year on July 31st. That meeting, it was about an hour and a half. It was recorded, and that is also available on the Boost webpage. As you all know, we have a new vendor for our online application. The company is called Submittable, and you all have been interacting with that interface for the past several months to message us, to apply, to upload your assurances pages, and you'll also submit your reporting requirements through that online application as well. In August, the declined notices went out to applicants who were not being offered an award this year, and the award offers for parents that will be offered an award, the accept decline form was sent out to parents a couple of days, a Monday actually. So we've received a lot of responses so far. Out of 1,400 applications, 1,200 families have responded so far. So we have a great return rate so far. So parents have until September 12th to respond to that survey to accept or decline the award, or let us know if there are any discrepancies. Here's a timeline of events for this boost cycle. On March 1st, we held our first customer service session for eligible schools that were approved in the non-public textbook program, and all of you. From May 11th to June 30th, we had our parent application window. Throughout the months of July and August, we were messaging parents and giving them an opportunity to cure or complete any applications that were incomplete. On September 1st, parents received an accept or decline award offer. That offer message also gave them instructions on how to find their student awards for families that have more than one child or whose children receive a base award and a special education award. They receive that information. This is our second customer service session for you schools on how to report their how to complete the reporting requirements. The early bird deadline for you all to complete these requirements is September 21st. That is a soft deadline, an early bird deadline. So if you would like your school's checks to be in the first batch that we send out, then we have to complete those reporting requirements by September 21st. If you miss that deadline, that's fine. The next deadline, the firm deadline, is October 12th. And if you complete those items after September 21st, then you'll be in the second batch of checks that get sent out of MSDE. We're sending out checks between the months of October, November, and December. So there are 4 reporting requirements that Boost schools must complete in order to participate, in order to receive scholarship checks. They are a teacher certification form, a student expulsion and withdrawal form. Schools need to report to us assessment data, and the last reporting requirement is the enrollment confirmation. And that has not been sent out to schools yet, but the first 3 have. So we're going to take a look at what those forms look like. So if you don't have a link to the online application already saved in your bookmarks, you can find it on the Boost webpage. So you'll click here on the left-hand side, online application for schools. It looks like this when you first log on because the applications are currently closed. But if you click on the top where it says view your submissions, then it prompts you to log into your account. So you'll log in as a school here. Can you all still see my screen? I think that's a yes. Okay, if you can't see what I'm speaking of, please unmute and let me know. So this is what your dashboard looks like. I have an account as a parent, and I also have an account as a school so that I can show parents and schools what to do and what to click on. So for the school's information, this is my parent application. I'm application number 1043. And this isn't part of reporting requirements, but I just want to give you a peek into what parents see. So when parents enter their application, this is what their dashboard looks like. It has all the activity that's been on the account when we approved their application, when we sent them a message, when we opened it for them to edit. So a whole list of activities here. All the messages that we've sent back and forth are also here. Our history. You can reply to a message. You can send us a new message. These are the forms that parents have had to fill out. So the first one is the award offer. So I'm just going to open it up just so you can, again, have a peek at what this looks like on the parent side. This is what parents were sent on Monday. This is their award offer. And there is some information at the beginning for them to read about when the checks will be sent, if they receive any discounts from you, the schools, when they, a little bit about the special education award. So if they scroll down, the first question they're asked is, do you accept the Boost awards? It's either yes or no. Some parents have said, well, let me take a look at what I'm getting first before I accept or decline. So they can go back to forms. and their award information is under awards and payments. So this, for my household, I only have one child, so my household award is $1,600. And then here's my child's information, Laura Obregon, a base award of $1,600. For parents with multiple children, this memo will be longer, and that amount there in that amount column will be their total household award of all their kids' awards combined. So, so again, they can go, let's just continue with this award offer form for parents. So they'll either accept or decline the award. If they say, yes, I accept, then we ask them, are your children still attending the school that you said they were attending in your application? And if it's still the same, that they check yes. For some parents, since they've applied, their children have switched schools. And when they answer no, they're going to a different school, then we get an alert that they need to change their, edit their application. If they say no, they decline the award, then we ask them why. And there's been very few declines, but we have had a couple. Yes, it's still the same. And then they submit, and then we receive a notice saying that they've submitted. Okay, this says there's an error completing my form. Okay, I'm going to go back to my schools account so we can look at what the reporting requirements look like for you all. So I'm going to get out of here and click on submissions. And here we go. So my school's name is Nicole School. So I'm going to click here. And this is what your dashboard looks like. You'll see, just like the parent side, activity, messages. You can send us a new message. You can reply to one we've already sent you. This is where, under the Forms tab, this is where you can find your reporting requirements. And then there's, if you want to add a note to your account, you can do that. And there won't be any awards or payments here for you all. We're sending the checks from out of our office to you. So this will be blank for you. So to complete the reporting requirements, you'll click on Forms. And the first one, well, there's 3 here. I'll click on the teacher certification one. So you can see that the deadline is September 21st. And it's pending. I haven't started it yet. So I'm going to open this one. And there's information at the top for you. Public schools are not required to hire certified teachers, but to be in the Boost program, you do have to report to us how many certified and non-certified teachers you have in the content areas in your school. So you'll scroll down and indicate the number of teachers, for example, that are in your early childhood education program that are certified, say 2, and number that are not certified, we'll say 1. Elementary school teachers, let's say I have 5 that are certified and 2 that are not. If you're in elementary school, for example, and you don't have English teachers, you just have elementary who teach all the subject areas, then please don't double count teachers. So for my school, I'll say for English, it's 0 and 0. And for math, it's 0 and 0. And let's say for reading language arts, I have 2 certified teachers there and 0 that are not certified. So even if there are no teachers in that category, please put the number 0 so that there's no confusion as to whether you meant to put a number there and left it blank accidentally. If it's 0, just please enter 0. So you'll complete this chart with the number of teachers that are certified and not in your school. 3 and 0, and let's say I have 1 and 1. And when you're finished with that, submit, and you've successfully submitted that reporting requirement. We review these on our end, so if there's an error or if it's not complete, then we'll open it back up to you and you'll get a message saying your reporting form is open back up for you to edit it, and here's the reason why. Okay, so this one's complete. Okay, that one's done. So I'll go back to Forms. And let's complete the withdrawal expulsion report next. So I'll click on Open. And here's what it looks like. It's required that schools participating in Boost report to us whether you had any Boost students last year who were expelled or withdrawn from school. The first question asks you, did your school have any Boost recipients during the last school year? If the answer is no, then the next question, were any Boost students expelled? It's not applicable for you. And then you just click submit, and then that's it. If you did have Boost recipients last year, you'd check yes. And let's say, for example, you did have a student that was withdrawn. When you click yes, then this table appears for you to complete. And this is required for any students that received a scholarship last year but didn't finish the school year, were either expelled or withdrawn a little early. There's a note here at the bottom that here are the reasons that you can enter for why that student didn't complete the school year. So for my school, I had one student who was withdrawn, and his name was Ray Molina, and he was withdrawn or expelled. He was withdrawn from school. How many days did he attend? He was at my school for the first couple of months, and he attended 41 days of school. And the reason is that his household moved. So that's what I'm going to put for the reason right here, household moved. And you submit the form, and then that one's done. So two have been completed already. I'm going to go back to forms. And the third form to complete is the assessment results form. And under this form, you can see that I've completed many of these reporting requirements as I've shown schools how to do this. So yours should only have 2, but I have many more. So for the assessment results, you'll click on open. And there's again some information for you at the top. This is the requirement for schools to be in Boost, and this is per legislation. So schools must administer an approved standardized test in 3 subject areas: English language arts, math, and science. And these are the grade bands with which you must as a school administer these tests. So for English language arts, the test must be administered each year to all students in grades 3 through 8, even students that are not that did not participate in Boost, and so on for math and science. So the first question asks you to start off with the English language arts assessment. So the first question asks you, which assessment did you administer? There is a list of approved tests on the Boost webpage, and here they are. They're national tests. The ones at the bottom, MCAP, that's our Maryland state approved assessment, so you could have administered that test as well. So for the English language arts test, I administered the iReady diagnostic, and I serve grades 3, 4, and 5. So the first column in the chart asks you, what score does your school consider proficient? So I'm not familiar with the iReady diagnostic scale scores. I'm just going to enter a number here. So for my 3rd graders, if they score 45, they're proficient. My 4th graders, 55, and for my 5th graders, 65. So in 3rd grade, how many Boost students were tested? Let's see, I had 10 Boost students who received a Boost in 3rd grade and were tested. And how many of those Boost students were proficient? That is, how many scored at least 45 on that iReady test? And I'll say there were 8 of them that scored proficient. And then how many non-Boost students in 3rd grade? That is the rest of the 3rd grade class. I'll say 64. And how many non-Boost students tested proficient? Let's say 53 of those students. So you'll continue completing this chart for the number of students in your grade bands that that test and scored proficient. Let's say there were 0 students In 5th grade, 0 and 71 and 64. This is just for example. The next question asks about your math assessment. You'll select the math assessment that you administered to your students. Let's say our school gave the MAP test, and for 3rd grade, we considered a score 89 to be proficient. For 4th grade, 96, and for 5th grade, 102. So you'll continue on the same way for the math assessment, and then also with science as well. So once you've completed this, you'll click on submit. Okay, I didn't fill out that part. I've got to fill it out. I can't leave it blank. I'm leaving this chart blank just for the purposes of time today, but you'll complete this. I'm getting error messages. Yeah, I didn't complete this chart. Okay. And 72. Okay, saved. Now can I submit? Yes. Okay, great. So those 3 reporting requirements are complete. I'll go back to forms. I mentioned that 4th one, enrollment confirmation, which if you've been in Boost before, you're familiar with it. We haven't sent it out yet because parents are still accepting and declining awards and making changes and so on. So we haven't sent that to yet. Parents have until September 12th to let us know whether they're accepting or declining. So a day or 2 after September 12th, we'll send you the last reporting requirement, which is the enrollment confirmation. And I want to show you what it looks like here so that you know what you'll be looking for. My screen should have an Excel document pulled up. So if you don't see that, can you please unmute and let me know? So after parents have accepted or declined the awards and that window has closed, we will then prepare a spreadsheet that looks like this for your school. And this has the first columns are the student and school's information. It's your school name, your school advanced link number, the student's first name, the student's last name, the last 4 digits of their social security or ITIN number, and their grade. You may also see a student ID number here that we're using for our application purposes, but that may or may not be here. So this is what you'll see. And then you'll have to answer the questions that are in orange and green along these columns. So for the first student, for Nicholas Cage, he's in kindergarten. Is he enrolled at my school? Yes, he is. Is he in special education? No, he's not. Did the student attend your school last year? No, he did not. The next questions are about financial assistance for the student. So the first one asks, what's their base annual tuition before any discounts at all? So for my kindergartner, the base tuition is $8,500 per year. How much need-based aid will the student receive? So his family is low income and they require some assistance from the school. So we're giving them $1,500 in financial aid. How much merit-based aid will the student receive that is based on performance or a sporting scholarship or some other reason? This student is receiving $0 in merit-based need from my school. Column M asks, how much need-based aid will he receive from an outside organization, a foundation, a private donor? He's receiving $0 additional aid. And how much merit-based aid will he receive from an outside organization? 0 as well. And the next question asks, how much other aid or discounts will the student receive? So if your school offers a sibling discount or employee, child of an employee discount or a parish discount, let's say this student, Nicholas Cage, attends my school's parish. So that's a $500 discount. And he's also the child of an employee, which is another $500 discount. So his total discounts are $1,000 for that question. So here the calculation is done for you already. The student is receiving $2,500 in total non-boost aid. That's apart from the boost scholarship. So the annual tuition that the family is responsible for paying is $6,000. And this is important for us to know because if the student is eligible for an award of let's say a boost award of $8,000, then that will be reduced because we can't award a scholarship that exceeds the amount that the family is responsible for paying. So you'll complete this information for all the students that are on your list. For some of you, it's 2, 3, 4, 5 students. For some of you, it's 150 for the larger schools. So when you receive this spreadsheet, if it helps you to have other staff members at your school help you to complete this, this has to be sent back to us through the reporting requirement feature on the online application. I'm just going to save this and click out. So I think that's all the information I had to share. If you'd like to reach out to us, if you have questions, Bob's number is on the screen, 410-767-0443. Jim's number is also there, although he's only here part-time. So if you call on a Monday or a Friday, you won't reach him. And my number is here as well. You can send us a message through the Boost email address. All three of us manage that inbox. Or you can also message us through your online application portal. So at this time, I'd like to stop presenting and stop talking for a minute and allow you some time to unmute and ask any questions. I think I heard a hand raised.
Yes.
That's what that sound is.
Thank you. I'm sorry I came into the meeting a little bit late. One thing that we are having problems with the new system, I need confirmation that the parents have accepted Boost before I put it into their tuition account. So it's not an easy process. Do you have any suggestions to make that flow smoother? Because I do, and also, will you be, through the new system, will you be sending us those that have been accepted, that did accept the award, I should say?
Yes, following, so between September 1st and September 12th, parents are responding to the award offer that we sent them. So we're still determining which parents have accepted or declined, which parents have said, I'm only getting, my son's only getting this award, but he's also in special ed. What about that? So we're taking a look at all of the questions and alerts that parents are sending us.
Okay.
Once that has closed on September 12th, then we'll send all of you schools a list of all the students that have been offered an award and have also accepted it. And that is going to come to you through the enrollment confirmation.
Okay, perfect.
And once once you've completed that with the students confirming that they are enrolled at your school and confirming the financial assistance that they're getting, then we'll send you another notice with that student's actual Boost award, what their award will be for.
Wait, can you repeat that? I'm sorry. I won't see, I have to put it into their account. So we won't get the award amount until everyone accepts, till after the 12th, correct?
Correct. That we'll send you a list of students who have accepted the award.
Okay.
And during the enrollment confirmation, that's when the school have to let us know what financial assistance they're receiving. Because that will determine whether we have to reduce their Boost scholarship award.
Okay, so parents have been notified they've been awarded a certain amount, but that's not necessarily the actual award.
Yes, that's how much they're eligible to receive. However, if the financial assistance they're receiving from the school or from a private foundation, if it covers most of their tuition and they only have a balance of like $1,000, then their boost award will be reduced to only what they owe.
Okay.
What they're receiving for.
We're doing it a little differently. We're basing their additional financial aid on the boost award.
Okay. In that case, parents have access to the awards for their children in their household.
Mhm.
Schools, you don't have access to see that yet. But parents have told us that they've printed out that page of their application and given it to schools.
Okay.
So I know that that's happening.
Okay, we'll just deal with it when it comes. Thank you.
You're welcome. Miss Isadora Kendall,
Hi,
do you have a
yes.
question? Hi.
Yes, I had a quick question about, you all have sent us a few emails to confirm the assessment information, the withdrawal expulsion information. I just wanted to make sure you all are capturing that information for 22-23. Is that right? I know that's separate from the awards that are about to come out, but the emails we've received to fill out the certifications for teachers and the levels of certifications. Do you know which 3 emails I'm talking about?
Yes, the reporting requirements that we just went over.
Yes, so I'm just confirming that those requirements are not, because I know it's after we're going to find out who our new recipients are for this year. Are those reporting requirements for 22-23 recipients or 23-24? I'm just restamping that.
Yeah, so the instructions for each form are at the top of that form. The teacher certification is for the school year that we're currently in.
Mm-hmm.
The withdrawal expulsion form is for the school year that just ended.
Okay.
And the assessment data is for the school year that just ended for the previous school year. Or if you were testing students through the summer, then capture those results as well.
Perfect. I just wanted to see.
Yeah, we know you haven't tested your kids yet.
Thank you. I just wanted to triple check. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I'm sorry, those emails have gone out about the portal being open for the reporting structure. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
And if you haven't received it, let me know. Let us know if you haven't received it. It could be that all of those notifications go to the individual that signed up for your school's account.
Right.
So yeah, depending on who that person is, it will go right to them.
Okay.
It looks like there aren't any more questions. So I know you all are very busy kicking off your school year and probably making class changes and getting new families registered and making sure you have materials and teachers have what they need. So there's one more question in the chat. Brian asks, hi, Brian. I think you said parents received their offers on 9/1. What is the deadline? They have until September 12th to respond. And we've already received out of 1,400 families, 1,200 responses. So parents have been eagerly awaiting this. So, but they do have about another 5 days or so.
I have
If you-
one quick question. The expulsion withdrawal form, is that only for those who did not complete the school year? Like if we had someone who actually completed the school year, but we know she's not returning, she wouldn't be on there?
Correct.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Dr. Haynes?
Good morning. I'm
Morning.
just reflecting on at least 5 conversations that I've had with parents, and I'm not sure that they all understand the impact of additional funding on their final figure, because they called and I tell them I have not received any official word on how much the award is, blah, blah, blah. And they say, well, I got something and it said, I'm getting $4,750. But and they think, and they may be receiving a 10% discount from us because there's a sibling or a couple of them have children's scholarship fund. So I don't know if they understand that that will impact their final number. Is that explained to them when they receive the awards?
There is a note on their accept and decline form that says that their award may be reduced if the award exceeds the tuition. But in those cases where if the family still has a balance they're responsible for paying over the course of that school year, then the boost award will cover up to the amount that's on their account, up to, like in your example, $4,750. So that award won't be reduced unless it's more than what they owe the school. Does that answer your question?
Probably not, but I'll just think through it. I'm just want the parents to be clear, or maybe I'm not clear on what you said, because my understanding is if they're eligible, for instance, for, let's say, $5,000, and
You mean the boost award of 5,000 or financial aid of
I just use that figure, the boost
Okay.
award. So,
Okay.
And if they are receiving, and they've been awarded $4,750, correct? So that leaves a window of $250. So my understanding is they cannot receive more than $250 of additional funds from other sources. Is that correct?
We don't have any control over what outside organizations provide them funding, or how much, or the guidelines of those outside foundations or private funders. We just need to know the bottom line, what the family is responsible for paying, and we use that figure to determine whether we need to reduce their boost award or not.
Okay. Thank you.
I hope that answered your question. I'm not sure if it did.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. So there is an example on the Boost webpage at the bottom. For the question is, it's at the bottom for information for parents. Will I get a check for the entire award? So the check is sent to the school, and this is for the parent. The parent must come to the school, sign, endorse the back of the check. And it says here that the Boost Scholarship Award may be reduced if it exceeds the tuition. So here's an example. If the school's annual tuition is $10,000 and the school offered the student a discount of $4,000, the parent's only responsible for paying $6,000 to the school. So we take the annual tuition of $10,000 minus the aid they're receiving from a scholarship for your school or private donor, foundation, financial assistance from you. the family only has to pay is only responsible for $6,000 tuition balance. If they're eligible for a boost award of $7,750, we can't send a check to the school for more than what the family owes. So then we at MSCE would reduce their boost award to $6,000. And in that case, the family's tuition is 100% covered. $4,000 financial assistance from you and $6,000 boost award. So in this situation, the family pays 100% of their tuition is covered by scholarships or aid. If the family has made tuition payments over the summer, if tuition payments started in June or July or August, and they've made payments, then they may be eligible for a refund from you if they've already made payments before their scholarship or financial assistance kicked in.
Thank you again, Nicole.
You're welcome, Dr. Haynes. Miss Admissions.
Hi.
Hello.
I'm Miss D, sorry.
Okay, hi.
I did have a question about the funding and unused funds from Boost. So we have at least one or two parents that said that they received letters from Boost saying that they said that Boost sent them a letter saying that they qualify, but because of lack of funding, that they weren't recipients because recipients in prior years were prioritized over them. So given that you said that, you know, if a student has they can't because they can only get so much, will any of those funds be returned back into that pool of money so that people that did qualify could possibly get some funding from Boost, you know, after the dust settles, basically?
Yeah. The Boost Advisory Board meeting was recorded, and we talked about all the applications we received and how much money we would need to offer an award to all those families that qualified for free and reduced meals. And if we were to offer an award to all the families whose income qualified them, we would need around $18 million, and we only have $9 million. So you're right. Students that received Boost last year and that also qualified for free and reduced meals were prioritized. And the next priority were siblings. There are more siblings than we have enough funds for. So the Boost Advisory Board had to determine what category of siblings we would be able to fund first. And at this point, we only have enough funding. We only had enough funding to offer the siblings of renewals who qualified for free and reduced meals and who were enrolled in a public school last year. So at this point, we don't even have enough funding to offer an award to all the siblings, let alone any new applicants. So if funds become available, we will reconvene with the board and let parents know, but the message that they received was accurate. Does that answer your question?
I think so. So you're saying that if there is more money returned into that big pot, basically, that there's this whole sibling category that will probably absorb that. I think that's what you're saying. So
Yes, exactly.
and so those folks will get another notification if that is the case, or after the board reconvenes. The one you said that there's a group of siblings that didn't get funding, basically, or not as
Yes.
much. Okay.
Yes, we'll reach out to those families and let them know the decision of the Boost Advisory Board.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Oh, there's a question in the chat. Joan Francis said, our school requires 25% tuition to be paid by families. How is this handled? I'm not sure what you mean by that. Meaning, would you mind unmuting and explaining a bit more? Maybe Joan's left. No, I think she's here, Joan Francis. If you wouldn't mind, Joan, please unmute and explain a bit more what you mean.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Sorry. I wasn't sure which one to hit here. That I'm just trying to say that regardless of the tuition assistance that's received from the student, they are required by the school to still pay 25% of the tuition of their tuition. So, in other words, that something might have to be either reduced or returned. And I didn't know if that's formulated in the enrollment confirmation when we fill that out.
We don't take into consideration special school guidelines on how much
Okay.
we want a family to pay. We are required by law to offer a scholarship based on certain criteria, and we offer that award to the family. It's to benefit the family and the students. So I'm not. Are you saying you would reject a part of the award because you want the family to pay a certain
Well, it's
minimum?
a requirement. It's a school policy that they pay 25% of their total tuition. So I just didn't know how that, if it was handled on your end by somehow, or if that's something that we just have to do internally when we are, when we're calculating how much they paid into the tuition.
That sounds like something that it would be on the school to decide or handle or take care of. We just issue the scholarship award depending on, what the family qualifies for.
Okay, that answers my question, and that helps me greatly, in what I have to do on my end. I just wasn't sure. Thank you.
You're welcome. Ellen says in the chat, if a family was awarded boost last year and applied again this year and denied, will you reevaluate their situation? There are situations where a family was eligible and received boost last year, and now they are not eligible, either because they exceed the income cutoff or their application was incomplete. In either one of those two cases, during the months of July and August, we were in communication with families. We gave them opportunities to complete an incomplete application, submit documentation to us that was missing. So we did give families a window of opportunity to cure their application, or if they received a notice that their income exceeded the cutoff and they believed it was an error, they could send us a message and say, this doesn't sound right, can you look at it again? And we did have we met as a committee to evaluate that family's income once again and come to a final decision. So that time to cure applications and come to those determinations took place in July and August. I'm not sure if does that answer your question, Ellen?
Yes, it answers my question, and I figured that was the answer. I just have to go over with this family because they feel that they met all the criteria, but were still denied. So we'll go over it with the family, and then we will email you directly.
Please do. If you'd like us to look at their application again or their eligibility, send us an email with their information, and we'll take another look at it.
Thank you.
You're welcome, of course. If you have any questions, if something occurs to you as soon as we hang up, please send us a chat, a message, a phone call. You're probably more likely to get a quick response if you send us a message in writing, because there's 3 of us that can look at that inbox. This recording will be posted on our webpage for you to look at again and listen to. These reporting requirements, just a reminder again that they're due September 21st. Yeah, and schools, as you've been doing, continue to message us if you have any concerns about families' applications or students or awards. We'd rather have more communication than less. You're welcome. All right, everybody. Happy school year. You're doing great work educating Maryland students, and we're here to help in any way we can. Send us a message if you need anything. Have a great week.
Thank you so much for your help.
You're welcome. Bye, everybody.
Thank you.